Well, hello friends, and welcome to my channel. I'm Renee, and we're in the pantry. Oh my gosh, it's finally, I got a chance to sit down. I have been canning like a crazy mad woman. I have done spaghetti sauce, mixed vegetables, dill pickles, more green beans. Oh my gosh, just never ending. And I've got lots more to do. Anyway, just want to take a little bit and do a chit chat because I haven't done one in a while. And I hope everybody's doing good. I know you are all curious to find out how my mother's doing from my last chit chat with you. And, well, it's bad news, of course, but it's not as bad as what we thought. Thank you, Jesus. Um, her cancer, they thought was completely gone and came back. That's not it. That she had the tumor she had in her lung. Now, I told you she had brain cancer, bone cancer, and lung cancer. The bone cancer and the brain cancer are stable. They can't find any in her bones or in her brain. The tumor that was in her lung, that was where her cancer originally started. They have shrunk that down to where they couldn't even pick it up on a PET scan. And then, she went in 4 months later for another PET scan, and that's when they found it. And they said it probably never went away. It just kind of broke through, and it was too small for a PET scan to pick it up the last time. So they're going to radiate that, friends. 15 treatments of radiation, and they think that she will do very well with that because she's done very well thus far. With her neck, she's got to have her carotid artery. There's a word for it, and I just don't know it, but they've got to clean it out. That's going to be probably the first of the year, right around there. And also, what they had thought was her aorta was closing up. They thought it was damaged from the chemo. It actually isn't the aorta. It is the aortic valve, and that is needs to be replaced. So they said that the only thing, they're not going to do any of this until after her cancer is stable once again, and then they will correct both. And the valve, to have your valve replaced, is so easy now. I guess they go right up through your groin. I'm just absolutely amazed. So yeah, they're going to do that, and they're going to do her neck after she's stable. So thank you for the prayers, because she can do this. You will see her now. Mind you, my mother, she's just a doll, but she is very, very camera shy, worse than my husband. She doesn't like to be on camera. She said, I just don't look good on camera. And I told her, I said, you can come and you can be in a chit chat so they can put a face with a name. I want to introduce you to her. And I told her, I said, you're beautiful. You don't have to worry about anything. She's beautiful from the inside out. I'm telling you, she's just wonderful. So you'll love talking with her. And it won't be a live chit chat though, because we're just going to do a chit chat like I'm doing now. And she'll be here. But when, I'm not sure, because right now she's very busy with her work. She still works 2 days a week. She still works 2 days a week, friends. And she does get winded, but that's not from cancer in her lungs. That is from the valve that needs to be replaced. And they said that that's what's making her a little short of breath when she gets moving too much. So anyway, but she did. They told her, you know what, Susie, if you want to work, go back to work. So she did. She's back to work 2 days a week, and she loves it. That's what she loves to do. So anyway, you will see her. She's got that she works 2 days a week, and she also has 15 treatments, one every week. So maybe sometime in between that, if she's not too tired, I'll be able to, have a chit chat. Maybe it'll be in her living room. I don't know. It might be at her house, but I'm trying to get her here so you can literally meet her and put a face with a name. So that really is bad news about cancer, but good news about the, prognosis. So we're happy. And it was like 1,000 pounds off my chest. There's nothing worse than walking on eggshells. And, that was horrible. Horrible, horrible. Anyway, friends, it's a beautiful day out. I've got several things to tell you. First off, I got presents in the mail. I think that is just absolutely wonderful. That literally made my whole week when I went to my post office and they said, "Oh, you got a package." Oh, it was like Christmas. Thank you. You know who you are as soon as you see these. And thank you so much. I didn't know if I could mention your name or not, so I'm not going to do that. Anyway, these are beautiful. I have got, it looks like they're hand painted. They're salt and pepper shakers with beautiful, let me come up here. They're salt and pepper shakers with beautiful sunflowers. Aren't those cute? I just love them. And you betcha I'm going to use them. Those are going to sit right on my table. I love it. And then I got one of those cool gadgets for holding your Ziploc bags. Isn't that cool? And that way, you do your meals in your Ziploc bag for your freezer meals. Wonderful. I love it because I love freezer meals. Anyway, so I like that. I was looking for these and I wasn't sure where you could find them at. But thank you for that because I love those. And I got a beautiful card. Darling, darling. And then I got this beautiful little shopping list notepad. Isn't that darling? And it's got sunflowers on it and a pretty little bow. So I can keep that right here in my pantry and keep my grocery list wrote down. Because that's one thing. You almost have to go to the store not hungry and with a list and stick to your list. That's about the only way you're going to stay within budget. See, now if I could I could tell you that, but if I could teach myself to do that, it would be good because I'm dangerous in a grocery store. Anyway, I got a whole bunch of free food, totally free from my friends. Remember I told you I was canning a lot of vegetables and stuff like that up that my friends had brought me, and the apples that I canned, I had 3 or 4 bags that people just brought, and they just set them out there on my table. So I'm not exactly sure who brought them, but I knew that I was not going to let those go to waste. So that's why I canned them like that. And they were Gala and Red Delicious apples, and they turned out fantastic. And yes, look at how beautiful they've held their color. Gorgeous. Absolutely. And then I can take these, and somebody had asked me when I make a pie if I drain them. Yeah, usually most of it out of there for the most part. And you add a little cornstarch so it thickens. But yeah, I do drain them. Most of the time I don't always make a pie. I'll make a nice little apple cake. And I'm going to do a video on it using the jarred apples so you can see just how it does. I think I forgot what I was saying with those. Oh yeah, I wanted to tell you that because they brought those to me. I had people giving me turnips and beets and apples and cabbage, and I picked a whole bunch of my cabbage the other day. So I want to do some fermented cabbage. I did this one other time and it just didn't turn out for me. But so this time when I do it, I'm only going to do like 2 jars just to see if, if it actually is going to work for me, if I will be successful this time. If not, 2 jars isn't going to kill me, losing 2 jars, but I don't want to do 50 of them. So with this bunch of freebies that I got yesterday, there's a 1 pound container of potato starch. And I thought, wow, I've never used potato starch. Now I've heard of it, but I've never used it. But I'm sure it would be good thickening stuff, especially soups and that. So that's kind of nice to have. I will definitely utilize that. I also got a nice big, this is almost a 2-pound can. This is 30 ounces of black beans. And I use black beans all the time. I love to make my black bean hummus. Also, I got a can of pinto beans, and those I love to use for refried beans. Those are good in wraps too. And then garbanzo beans, which I usually use to make my hummus. So that's wonderful. And these are good. I make just a simple salad with tomatoes and garbanzo beans and tuna fish, and it's really good with a little vinaigrette on it. I should do a video on it. But I've got all kinds of dried beans, and they're 2-pound bags. I've got pinto beans, kidney beans. I've got the yellow split peas. I've also got the lentils. I love lentils. I use them all the time. I got navy beans, which I'm going to save some navy beans because I've got a lot of beans growing out in my garden that are for shelling beans, for the winter beans. And this, I always add like a 1 or 2 pound bag, couple 1 pound or 2 pound bag of the navy beans or the great northern beans to my bean mixture. And it makes for a wonderful like 15 bean soup or whatever. So that's what I do with those too. So lots of beans to put up. And then I got raisins, which I always use for, I got a couple boxes and still in my pantry, but I always use these for baking. And the holidays, they're not too far away from us. So she gave me dried fruit and nut mix. It's a trail mix, a dried fruit and nut trail mix. Absolutely love it. They're like 1 pound bags, so these are perfect. I'm gonna zip pack these. Zip pack. I always call it zip pack. It's vacuum sealing. I'm gonna vacuum seal these. That way they'll last longer. And I don't know if I'm gonna store them in my freezer. They are shelf stable the way they are, but they'll last. They'll last nice in the freezer. So anyway, all that free food. Isn't that fantastic, friends? What a lovely addition to the pantry, and it's free. And free is always, always, always in the budget. So let me put these on my shelf back behind me here, where I always put my beans. And I'll check this out and see what you do with this potato starch. Anyway, so like I said, I've been busy canning. I have done quite a few canning videos. I have so many yellow summer squash, and I don't want to can yellow summer squash because I can't stand it mushy. It just turns you right off. So I won't can it. And I thought, I've got a couple extra zucchinis, and I thought I might do a video and do mock pineapple, out of the zucchini, just to see how it turns out. My mom said she'd love to try that and see how that does. The other thing, I've got several videos I'm working on, or I'm going to be doing. Today, I didn't do a video on it, but I did the dill pickles and dill pickle slices. When I do my dill pickles, I always go by the USDA website, okay? And you've got to water bath them for like 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I think it's 5 minutes. Anyway, I'm not sure, 5 or 10. And they get mushy. Beautiful flavor. I mean, they are delicious, but they're soft. And I don't like soft pickles. I want mine nice and crisp. So the ones I got today, I saw Miss Wolfie, Beverly Wolfie from our Half Acre Homestead. She had a video that she just put up, canning lots of dill pickles. Well, when she canned her pickles, she soaked them overnight in an alum solution. And she rinsed them, and of course she packed her jars and stuff, went on about it, made her brine, and she just filled her jars with the pickles, and she filled it up with brine all the way to the point where it was almost overflowing. Put the lid on it, put the ring on it, flipped it upside down on a towel. And that way it's supposed to seal real good from that heat from the brine, and it'll be shelf stable. Well, I was just amazed because, you know, every time I finally gave up on doing pickles because every time I do, they get mushy. Well, today I tried it. And if it works, I have more coming in, more pickles coming. They're just, I'm overloaded. So if those jars work nice and they seal good, I will do that video. I won't trust just any recipe I see online because I have to research it and make sure that the processing time is right, you know, and all that, you know. But anyway, so the other thing is Mr. Rooster is crowing. Well, he was crowing all the time, crowing. And on Sunday, when my husband was home over the weekend, he started sounding like a squeaky toy. He was out there crowing and it sounded like a squeaky toy. And then he just, all of a sudden, he'll go through the motion of crowing and not a thing comes out. Not a squeak, nothing. Now it's starting to come back. His voice or his noise. I mean, it sounded like he had laryngitis, but, you know, chickens don't have a larynx, so that's not what it is. And I'm thinking maybe he had a cold or a respiratory infection or something, but it's starting to come back now. Well, I didn't want to take, I know this sounds bad, don't be hating on me. I didn't want to take a $10 rooster and spend $200 on him at the vet. I can't afford that. Life on the farm, you do what you can do at home. Okay, so what I did, now his voice was, or I call it his voice was totally gone. He would be in the coop and he would be, you know, stretch out his neck like he's gonna crow. You know how they go through the motion of crowing? Not a thing would come out. So I thought, I can't take him to the vet. I don't want to lose him. So I gave them oregano because oregano is one of the best natural antibiotics for chickens. So I gave them oregano. I took their coop. I put a bunch of straw in their coop. I just did that anyway because I'm having troubles with them broody hens. But I dumped out the swimming pool, and they have several little tubs of water in there that they can always drink out of. So they always got fresh water. I got rid of all of them, and they've got one. And I put apple cider vinegar in it. And then in the swimming pool, their little pool that the duck loves, I filled that up and I put quite a good amount of apple cider vinegar in that too, so that their water was limited, and either whatever one they drink out of, they're going to get the vinegar. Well, it must have helped, friends, because his voice is starting to come back. I heard him crow this morning, and it's crackly and it's squeaky, but it's coming back. So I was afraid that he may have gape worms too, but if his voice is coming back, I don't think that's what it is. So I don't know, but he was eating, he was drinking, his nose wasn't running, his cone looked really good, or his comb looked really good. He was scratching and dancing around his hens, and you know, I went into the small part where they sleep, the small part of the coop. I went in there and to gather a couple eggs that had been laid in there, and by golly, once I got down on the ground, because I have to squat when I get in there, he come right at me and blasted me right on my side. So I know he's not sick, not in the least bit. So whatever it was, the oregano, maybe that helped him, and the apple cider vinegar. So between the apple cider vinegar and the oregano, I do believe he's going to be okay. And I don't believe it's gape worms. Now, the vet that I did call said, oh, we don't treat farm animals. There's only one vet around here that treats farm animals, and they're clear down in Ludington. So what I am going to do is I'm going to research, because I do want to give them some worm medication. It won't hurt them. You know, it's good for them. That way, if they do have gape worms, because if he has it, the rest of them are going to get it, and the whole flock will be infected. And I thought, you know what, it probably wouldn't hurt if I just went ahead and wormed them anyway, so that's what I'm going to do. I don't know where to get the worm medication, so I am going to call that vet down in Ludington and see where I can get that worm medication for gape worms. and you should deworm your chickens anyway. That also is what the apple cider vinegar will help with as well. So I pretty much got them under control. Anyway, with that, I've been harvesting a lot of vegetables. And I've been sharing a lot of vegetables. I dug up quite a few of my potatoes already. Half of my patch. They're beautiful. They're like the size of your hand. And we're going to dig potatoes up at the farm this weekend. And I'm going to be going up there to help them. So I don't know how many we're going to get out of there. I'm kind of excited. But I know that we have had a gross ton load of tomatoes and squash and zucchini and patty pans and pickles and green beans, and they've been picking them and making sure that they, make their way to people who need them. So I'm excited about that. I did get some tomatoes up at the farm to make my spaghetti sauce, because mine are not ripe yet. So I did 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 10 jars of it? Yeah, 10 jars of spaghetti sauce over there. So, yeah, I got that going. But once my tomatoes come in, woo, I'm going to be busy. It's too hot outside right now to go out there. It's it's mid-80s, and it's just too hot for me. I don't want to go out there. I need to mow my grass, but I'm probably going to do that tonight because it's not going to rain. Other than that, friends, I'm just so busy. I'm twirling in circles. And I've got chicken broth going out on the stove right now that I want to can up. Well, the other day I was so busy. The reason why I'm doing chicken broth was the other day I was so busy. My friend, when she went up to Traverse, she brought me back a rotisserie chicken. Well, I asked for it anyway. And that's what I had. I had that for dinner. I had some chicken for dinner. And then I had some more for the lunch the next day, and then I deboned the rest of it. Well, I took the carcass and an onion and some carrots and garlic, and I threw it, in the pan and figured I'd make broth out of that because you don't want to waste any of that. That makes good broth. So I got like 1, 2, 3, 4 meals, 5, 6, like 6 or 7 meals I'm going to be able to get out of that one rotisserie chicken. That, friends, is pretty good. But then remember, it's just me. So nobody else is here right now. My husband's out on the road. Anyway, so I got quite a few meals out of that. And because I can use the rest that I got in the freezer for other meals too. So I'm going to go research because I never made the pineapple, mock pineapple. Never made it before, so I'm gonna go see if I can't find a recipe for that on the USDA website or an approved recipe for that somewhere. Do some research, and I'm gonna make that, and I'm gonna do a video on that too. So we'll learn on that one together. Anyway, I want you all to have a nice day, and thanks for chatting with me.